How's it, guys? So, yeah, gonna be easy 21 today. Perhaps a 22, 23 even. Not a breath of wind. Clear night last night. So it was actually quite chilly this morning, early. But it's really warming up now. Sunrise 7:31. Sunset 6 minutes past 6, 5 minutes past 6. And I mean, you can see, obvious, very nice. And there's Timmy having a little party over there, having a good time. And yeah, this is definitely going to be warm today, and then it's cooling off tomorrow. But it's definitely marking the beginning of spring for sure. Like inland, Joburg, Pretoria, 24s, 25 degrees. Oh, there's a bird of prey. It's quite cool. I don't know if you can see him flying past there. No, he's too tiny. Yeah, Skukuza, I think about 29. So the heat is back. Certainly makes it feel like winter's ending. Certainly going into spring. Obviously here in Cape Town we've got a couple of months of some cold fronts that'll pass through, but in between that it's really going to be quite warm. But then what I was saying was tomorrow cooling down, going to be some cloud cover, a little bit of wind, and then Sunday a little bit of rain. But the point is, either way, it's going to change the market mindset as soon as it starts warming up. Sellers will want to start listing their properties. It's a good time to start putting your property on the market, and buyers will start coming out of their holes and wanting to view. So a good time to be on the market now if you're thinking of selling. But what I actually want to talk about is today is, sellers doing the viewings on their own homes. So that's one of the things that differentiates Lead Home, is that sellers take care of the viewings. Sellers are staying in the home, and I've spoken about the logistics of it, and the logistics of it just makes it much easier, and I'll go into a bit more depth on that. So you list your property. We've spoken about Bloom. You get back-end access to your dashboard. That is where you will set your availability as a seller. Now, now just to go back a little bit, if you've got a tenant in your property, the tenant can also set their availability. Doesn't need to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Few slots on Monday afternoon, Tuesday, a Friday morning, and something on a weekend. I like to say don't set availability on a Friday afternoon after 2, because then Oak's at the pub and they're like, now I'd rather drink beer than go and see this house. So Friday afternoons are generally not all the best time, but you can set your times for whenever you want. So again, if there's somebody else staying in your property, that tenant can give us their availability and we set it for them. And obviously if the property is empty or you can't do the viewings at all, then we can step in and do the viewings, and then we just charge a little bit more for that. And why is it so much more efficient for the sellers to do the viewings? So talking about Bloom, once you list, you get access to Bloom. That's your property dashboard, and you can then set your availability from there as well. So you put in your times, Monday to Sunday. You can put in any time slot. The viewings are booked 24, or the viewings are booked 16 hours in advance. So it's generally always the next day. Remembering that if you've put availability for a specific day, and no viewing is booked on that day, you don't have any viewings. Okay? Unless it's, you know, a special circumstance where we need to call you up and maybe the buyer's only in the town for one day and he can only view it today and you can make the viewing, then we'll call you up and see if we can get that buyer in. Sounds like I'm panting a lot here, but I suppose I am. I'm a lot fitter than I sound. Well, I like to think I am. But anyway, I digress. So you set your availability. Like I say, it doesn't need to be all day long. It just needs to be a few hours or a couple of hours a day, and you can have alternating days if you like. Yes, people are at home a lot more, so it makes the logistics of it a lot easier. As the seller, you're potentially there working from home, and if you're not, if you have to go to the office, you know, you can always pop back and come and do that viewing. The good times are generally, you know, surprisingly enough, Monday after 12 is generally a good time. Then some Tuesday afternoon from 4 o'clock, Thursday afternoon again from 3 kind of thing, and even Thursday mornings, and then something on a weekend just for those buyers that can really only view on a weekend. We don't do show days because it's all booked by appointment only as per the availability you set. Now remember, the buyers are verified through our system via ID number. Once they are verified, they can then make a booking. Once that booking is made, both buyer and seller are notified via SMS and email, and then a reminder is sent to both on the morning of the viewing. The logistics of it and why it's so much more efficient is a buyer can book 24/7 for a viewing on your property through our website. They can do it online, they do it themselves, and they're booked. Versus, say, you know, when an agent is doing the viewings, the buyer's got to send an inquiry through the portal, wait for the agent to get back to them. How long is that time period? Who knows? You know, if a buyer books sort of late at night because they're up and they can't sleep, and they book in, or they send an inquiry late at night, then that agent's only going to get back to them the next day. The agent's then got to call up the seller, go, how's it? Got a buyer, can we come and view today or tomorrow? Agent's got to get back to the buyer, say, yeah, we can view today or tomorrow. That time gap is quite large, and perhaps the buyer's gone cold by that stage. Versus our system, your availability is set, and the buyer can book online 24/7, and he's secured his viewing. Just like that, boom, done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So it's a much more efficient process. Generally, people are at their homes a lot more nowadays. You know, as an agent, you don't have to set up the appointment. You don't have to get the keys. You don't have to do show days. You don't have to kick you out of your house while the viewing happens. And for me, it's just a much more smoother and efficient process. It's a very simple process. You show the buyer around. The buyer will ask you some questions. How much is this? When did you do some renovations? How many geysers do you have in the house? Oh, what happened here? Oh, that's cool. I like that. You point out some nice spots in the house. I like reading here because the light comes in this way. It's a warm house, or, you know, it's not a warm house, whatever it might be. And that buyer has the answer to all his questions straight away from you, without having to go back to the agent and say, hello, oh, I've got some questions, what's this, what's that, why, this and that. The agent then has to find that out and get back to the buyer. Through our system, buyer viewing with the seller, he's got all those answers. By the time they get back to the car, they're pretty well informed, and they're able to leave viewing viewing feedback electronically, which then goes through to you as the seller. That sun's right behind me. Goes through to you as a seller, and you get their feedback as to whether they are interested or not. As the agent, then we're working on that interested feedback. We get that feedback too, and if they're interested, we hop onto that buyer straight away and do the offer and the negotiating with them. Leadhome.co.za. The process is so smooth, so efficient. Go and check it out. Even if you're just playing around and you want to test our system, go and register yourself as a buyer. Book in a viewing on a property to test it out, and then you have the option to cancel as well, electronically too. So if you want to just test it out, book a viewing in for yourself, and then you just cancel that viewing afterwards. It's a very simple and easy process, and it works very well. Again, leadhome.co.za. Book your valuation with an agent, book your viewing online. It just all works so lovely. So that's your Lekker weather report and your how to use the Leadhome website. How wonderful. Yeah, I'm getting quite hot here now, walking with the jacket on. I'm going to be stripping down shortly. Enjoy.